everyone, it's Steve-O here from Steve-O's Chop Shop. In this episode, episode 2 of the Kawi Triple Project, I'll be doing more work on the seat and tail section. You'll see that I've finished most of the fab up for that. Got the left side all tacked up here now. Ended up being a bit of a funny joint there, but I'll be able to weld all that out and blend it in with the grinder and it'll be fine. I think I might do a few stitches from the inside as well once I've taken it off, just to make sure that the sides are nice and strong and they're not going to crack out. This is the other side piece that I've got here now. It'll go on there, something like that. So there we are, it's all tacked up now. I'm going to clamp it on a few places just to try and limit a bit of distortion. So that's it all welded up now. So I want to take it off now and weld the insides, but because it's still hot, I'm going to leave it on there and let it cool down naturally, because if I pull it off straight away while it's still hot, I risk that it'll distort and with nothing holding it where it's meant to be. And there it is. So that'll actually be part of the oil tank, so we'll have to get a nice weld through there. And then on the insides here, I might just do some stitches just to make sure that those pieces stay strong. So what I've done here is I've cleaned up the welds a little bit and I've bolted the tail section back onto the bike. Now I've measured down here, it ended up being 27 mil. Both sides, and then I've run a line through the pencil. Now I'll go through and clean it up to that line. That way the side pieces will stay nice and parallel with the top, and they should be even both sides. So as you can see on this side, there's a fair bit got to come off there and a few high spots as well. So what I'm doing here now is I'm working on the sort of the base of what the seat will be. So what we've decided to do is the seat's actually gonna hinge from the side like the factory seat does, but we want the seat to ramp up onto the tank a little bit just to give it a bit more of a sort of stylish look and hopefully be a bit more comfortable. So what I'm gonna do is this piece here that I've made up is kind of gonna like shark fin up onto the front like that, but it's gonna be removable. That way, if you ever need to take the tank off, you simply undo these two bolts, slide that piece away, and then you can still remove the tank easily without having to take the whole rear end off. That's the plan anyway. Something like that. It's been piercing rain on and off for a couple of weeks straight now, which is kind of annoying, but good time to be in the shed, I reckon. So that's what I've made up now. What I'll do now is position that roughly where it needs to be, and then I'll bore some holes through here to allow access to those two mounting bolts, these two. So that piece is tacked in now. I've got these templates. Cut those out, weld them in, and then get that gap nice all the way around. It's a good spot to lie, mate. Good boy. So I've tacked the sides on. I cheated and used a little bit of aluminium tape, heat-proof tape, to hold the pieces there while I tacked it. So now I've got the sides tacked on, and I've made up a panel for the inside as well, just to give it a bit of extra strength. Now I'll weld it out. There it is, all bolted in. Got a nice, fairly even gap all the way around, which should still allow the tank to pivot. I'm pretty pumped on that, to be honest. That's come up really good. Took like a whole day to do it, and I took this thing on and off probably 20 times, but worth it, I reckon. Now I'm ready to start doing the seat. So I've taken the tank off so it's out of my road. Now I'll bolt this back on. I've just drilled and tapped holes for the hinges. And then once I have this back on, I'll be able to work out exactly how I want my seat base to be. And it'll perfectly follow the shape of this. Just drilled the hole for the seat latch. Works. So now I've made a paper template of the seat base, just an easy way of working out the exact shape and where all the folds need to be. Also, I'm going to learn from a bit of a mistake that I did on the WR build. The WR seat pan is basically the exact size of the seat base, but on this one I'm going to make it maybe 2 or 3 mil smaller to allow for the bulge in the seat cover. That way the seat cover should stay nice and flush with the outsides. That's my plan anyway, see how we go. This is what I'll use for the seat base. It's just a bit of 2 mil aluminium sheet. Luckily I had just enough left over from the other bits and pieces that I've been doing.
Looks like a crap job. Another crap job by Stevo's Chop Shop. Oh, missed a bit there. That's not quite round enough. Oh, you've run out of metal on the end there.
My dad's a comedian. Going on the video now. Voila! So I've got that folded up, sitting fairly nice all the way around. The edges aren't the greatest yet, but it doesn't really matter. I think I'll wait till the thing's fully mounted and hinged and then get those edges perfect, because then I'll know exactly where it's got to go. So now what I've got here is a mark here and a mark here, and then I'll transfer that through to the top, and that'll be my front fold. So now I've got the seat base roughly formed. I've laid it over the top of these hinges. Now I'll cut these reliefs out, which will allow this to drop down flush onto the actual tail base. Then what I'll do is cut out some 3 mil sheets that'll lap over the top, weld them on, and then that'll be where the screws bolt through for the hinges. So now I've made these 3 pieces up out of 3mm sheet. That one there will get welded in there somewhere, and the latch for the seat will end up bolting through that. Now these 2 will get welded over the top of where these hinges go. So now I've got these hinge sections welded on. I've marked and drilled 2 of the hinge mount bolts, and now I'm going to cut a thread in them with a tap. And I've only done 1 of each hinge, just so it'll be enough to be able to bolt the seat on, check that the hinges and everything works good before I go ahead and do all of the holes. So that's it for the seat. I'm pretty happy with it now. Push the button, open her up. I've cut out the inside now as well. Later on we'll put a battery tray and electrical tray in there as well, but we figured we'd wait till we had all our electrical components before we made a guess at what size it would need to be. Also, I've made up these stainless steel wire catch. I had a bit of stainless wire kicking around in the shed, so I made up this little catch system that works really well. So now I'll throw the fuel tank back on and just double check that it all works good, and then the rest of it will go off to the seat upholsterer guy and he can do his magic. Alright, it's going to wrap it up for episode 2 on the Kawasaki Triple build. Let me know what you think. Thanks heaps for watching. Hit like and subscribe and turn your notifications on if you want to keep up to date with my latest videos. Also, if you've got any suggestions for things we could maybe try on this build. My brother and I are just planning it as we go, nothing's set in stone, so it'd be good to have some input from other people to help us with a few of the build choices on parts and whatnot. So let us know, and yeah, thank you.